Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out for those students, especially senior students, enrolling Physics 2 for second semester. But be careful, the JED will experiment the face-to-face scheme for learning this coming January, but in limited number of students. Still, the students in a physical presence, but in abroad or in Japanese classroom, in Arabic classroom, American classrooms, the students are allowed only for 10. Let's say if there are 50 students in a class, every day or every meeting, there will be 10 per meeting. For example, Monday morning, 10 students will come in the morning, then again. So until at least there is a limitation, but the teacher will not stay in front of them, but they have a big screen that's like a big television in front of them, or big laptop, but they could not see the teacher at the back of the screen. So the students can stay inside, but out of the 10 students. So still face to face, but in a small number, in a small size. So it depends on how this Philippine setting will go. Now, I would like to talk about the how does state of matter change. Remember the lesson about temperature and heat. Heat is a type of energy, but we can get the temperature of each matter gaining its energy. So as soon as the object absorb or evolve energy, there's a certain temperature, whether in a high temperature or lower temperature. Now in this case, a substance will absorb heat without an increase in temperature, but there is a change in physical state. Let us say from solid to liquid. For example, if the water reaches 0 degrees Celsius, that's no longer the liquid form of water, but it's the ice. Now, before the water took the solid state, there must be what? A process. And that is freezing. Okay. Changing still the state of particular liquid to solid. But if you go to solid to liquid, melting. From a solid to vapor, sublimation. From liquid to vapor, boiling or steam, sometimes solid to another form, let's say a crystalline transition, okay? Because there are some solid substance that can form crystal. So there is change of state, simply the crystalline transition. Okay? So this coming January, there will be again face-to-face transition. It's no longer online streaming, online lesson, classroom, and so on. But they will try again another. But be careful. Okay, 10 is more than enough. So if you use, let's say, the capacity of a room is 45, that's big enough. But the teacher cannot see in front of you. Students there. Now, latent heat is the name given to the amount of heat which changes the state of body without changing its temperature. Because the energy can absorb or can evolve actually. Heat diffusion is the amount of heat that must be added to a unit quantity of a substance as its melting point to change it from solid to liquid. Therefore, before the water turns to solid or to ice, there is what you call heat of fusion. Okay? Or if the ice you want to turn to liquid, there must be a heat of fusion. And heat of fusion is the amount of heat is the product between the mass of that substance multiplied by latent heat quantity. So Q there is the amount of heat. For example, 30 calories or 330 kilojoule per kilogram. That is the LF of water. And if you convert that to calories, so 80 kilocalories per kilogram. Now, how does this substance, let's say, change the state of one substance to another or to the same substance? For example, the only substance on Earth that has three states is water, actually. So I forgot to tell you that water is a universal solvent, unless it can change its phase or state. Okay, when you say state, is a fixed condition. It's a fixed, uh, yeah, matter has a fixed what state condition. Okay, while phase is the interchanging state because it undergoes different processes, physical processes, before we go to a certain state. That is phase. So, good luck to all of you. And this lesson has different computation because you're going to solve for quantity of heat, the amount of heat absorbed and evolved before it reaches the solid, liquid, or gas or plasma states of matter. So, I will not discuss here the computation, the mathematical concept, but it is just the intro concept for this lesson. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will now pause